manipulation, lies, destiny. In Mushoku Tensei, there are powerful characters. There are feared characters. And then there is Hitogami, a being who doesn't need brute force to destroy lives. He doesn't shout, he doesn't fight, he doesn't threaten. He only whispers. Today, you will understand why Hitogami is not just an antagonist. He is the greatest danger in the entire Mushoku Tensei universe. And everything you know about him is only the surface. Prepare yourself. This is the kind of character that makes you question who is really in control. Hitogami doesn't appear grandiosely. He doesn't have an army, he doesn't have epic battles, he doesn't have absurd displays of magic. He appears in a dream, sitting peacefully, smiling. But that is precisely the threat. Hitogami enters people's minds. He presents himself as a friend, as a guide, as someone who only wants to help. And that's where everything starts to fall apart. A simple phrase from him, a single piece of advice, is enough to change someone's destiny. And when those destinies collide, lives are destroyed without anyone realizing who is really pulling the strings. Unlike other superior beings, who use strength and magic, Hitogami's power is invisible. He sees futures. He calculates minute details. He knows every choice a human will make. He doesn't fight you. He makes you fight yourself. And that makes him more dangerous than any divine dragon. Because Hitogami doesn't need to win the battle. He wins before the battle. Rudius believes Hitogami is an ally. After all, his advice really helps in many moments. But all help has a price. Every victory of Rudius, every advance, every decision that seemed to be his, was actually part of a larger plan. Hitogami guides, protects, advises, not because he likes Rudius, but because he needs him. Rudius is the perfect piece, powerful, impressionable, emotional. And when the board is complete, Hitogami will not hesitate to sacrifice the piece that helped him the most. When Orsted first appears, he doesn't hesitate to attack Rudius. For many, this was shocking. But Orsted wasn't fighting against Rudius. He was fighting against Hitogami's influence. Orsted knows what the human god did in previous loops. He knows how many lives were destroyed. He knows what happens when Hitogami achieves his goals. And that's why Orsted states, Hitogami is a virus, a parasite of destiny, a being that only exists to manipulate, dominate, and survive. And if he isn't stopped, the cycle of destruction will never end. What makes Hitogami so terrifying is simple. You don't know when he's manipulating you. He doesn't need to appear. He doesn't need magic. He doesn't need to summon monsters. He only appears when you sleep, and says exactly what you want to hear. And even if you suspect him, doubt is already his victory. Hitogami is the kind of enemy that doesn't need to defeat you. He only needs to make you defeat yourself. Hitogami doesn't want peace. He doesn't want evolution. He doesn't want balance. What he wants is to survive. And for that, anything can be sacrificed. In his view, the entire world is disposable. Kingdoms, families, heroes, villains. Everything is just a tool. And when you understand this, you realize the most terrifying reason for the anime. Hitogami is dangerous not because he's strong, but because he doesn't see anyone as human. Not even those he calls friends. In the end, Hitogami isn't an ordinary villain. He doesn't want to destroy the world. He wants to control it. And in Mushoku Tensei, there's no physical force capable of stopping someone who controls the destinies, minds, and choices of everyone around him. The question isn't how to defeat Hitogami. The question is, how do you defeat someone who already knows what their next move will be? Now tell me, do you think Hitogami is right to use humans as tools to survive? Or do you believe he deserves to be erased once and for all? Comment below. Leave a like, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss any more Mushoku Tensei analyses.